Hi guys, this is Jacques from Makulu Linux. I said this time around I would show the whole of the boot up process, logging in as well. As you can see, I made a nice little splash screen, nothing too fancy but just enough to give it that nice look. Little hippo with shadows, little spinner below that. The login screen should be no surprise. It's the same one I used in Cinnamon. It's GDM, except this is GDM, not GDM3. Got a nice sort of a tiled background there, just something different. So I'm gonna log in now and just give it a moment to boot in. I am in VirtualBox, so of course it's not quite that instant, but it is pretty fast. Right, so this is Makulu Xfce 7.0 and this is the first alpha build. It has now reached alpha stage. So I'm just going to give a quick overview for anybody that hasn't watched any of the previous videos. This is Xfce 7. Now what Xfce 7 is all about is basically, I just want to turn this off for now. Basically it's the next installment in the Makulu Xfce series, and this build is basically concentrating on speed, transparency, a much better look, much faster, much smaller size ISO. The last ISO I think was somewhere around 1.7 or 1.8 gigabytes. This one's currently about 1.32, I think, somewhere 1.3 odd. So I have managed to bring it down, because at one point it was climbing just over 1.5 gigabytes. I've brought it down back to just over 1.3, which is a decent size. There's going to be a lot of similarities to version 6.1 that was last released. Namely, we've got the two menus. We've got the left whisker menu, we've got the right sling scroll menu. So that's pretty much the same way it was before. There's a lot more transparency in this build. Window borders are transparent, the panels are transparent, some of the pop-ups are transparent. This is more clearer when Compass is switched on. This, unlike the previous version that was running, I think, Compass 0.84, this is Compass 1.9 point something, so there's a huge jump to the version number, in Compass. And the biggest change of all is this is actually an Ubuntu based version. I've had a lot of requests for Ubuntu based version of Xfce, actually for Mate as well, but since everybody voted for Xfce, I've decided to do an Ubuntu based Xfce, and I tell you, it was not easy. It's very different from Debian. Debian is, well, for me, because I've built Debian so many times, it's actually I could do it with my eyes closed. Ubuntu, on the other hand, I literally had to sort of get to know. We're using a very nice theme, very beautiful theme. It's the same theme I used in Cinnamon, just the borders are slightly different, but the theme is very nice. I've skinned anything else that sort of didn't fit with the theme. I've skinned, sort of like the menu. I had to skin the menu to fit the theme. Since the last video where I had Compass on the desktop, I have actually added a Compass on off switch. You'll see it in the settings as well as in the favorites, and you'll notice the Compass config manager is missing here. I'm actually going to do the same with the Emerald theme manager. I'll do that probably in the next build, but if you enable Compass, it will actually, it's in your favorites as well. You can do it straight from your favorites. It will actually pop up a window and ask, do you want to enable it, yes or no. If you say yes, it will enable it instantly live, no need to reboot, no need to change anything, as well as it will actually add the icons for the Compass config settings manager. If you switch Compass off, you go back into settings, you'll notice the manager has been removed. So the switch takes care of all of that. It adds and removes all the icons and any trace of the program as well. So on off switch, it's instant, it's very quick, very simple. If you switch compass on, obviously that's where all the magic happens. A lot more transparency in the system. You'll notice the borders right around, all transparent. The active window is transparent. If you open File Manager, you'll see the same thing. Side borders, bottom borders, top borders, the bottom panel, everything's transparent. You've got little live preview windows. You've got the wobbly windows effect, you know, with a sort of a bouncy effect when you minimize, maximize. And of course you can distort the windows, drag them around, you know, go crazy with that. As you can see, it's super fast. You've got multiple desktops that you can use via the cube. You know, you can also unfold the cube and see the various windows. I think I've got 5 desktops linked here. You also have reflections on the desktops, so that's pretty cool, very awesome. Remember, I'm running this inside VirtualBox, so it's pretty fast for VirtualBox, really fast. Those running older hardware, Makulu comes with Compass disabled by default. I don't want anybody booting in and having a sluggish system because the system can't handle Compass. So by default, Compass is off. For those that want to run it or can run it, it's as simple as clicking an icon on your menu. It's very simple, it's quick, it's instant, and Compass is running. You'll also notice it's very fast, very fluid, runs like a dream. And that's because I put a lot of work into it. I mean, literally, I think about 3 weeks work just to get Compass running this smooth before I even went on to the next step to do anything else on the system. Anyway, this is the first alpha build. As you can see, it looks and feels much more complete than the previous build. I actually have all the notification icons and the shortcuts at the bottom. I've got the updater working, Synaptic Package Manager. I've also got the PAE kernel working. If I actually open up the system manager, you will see the system monitor, you will actually see that I've assigned 4.1 gigs of RAM, and it's actually detecting all of my RAM. So I can't assign any more. I'm limited on RAM on this laptop. But for users that want to use 8 gigs of RAM or 16 gigs of RAM or 20 gigs of RAM or whatever the case might be, it will detect and use all of your RAM. It's not an i386 kernel, it's an i686 kernel. So it will use all of your RAM. So it's PAE enabled, physical address extensions. So that's great. Anybody can use it. 32 or 64-bit users, you'll feel right at home. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much Makulu Xfce 7.0, currently in alpha stage. As promised, all the guys that donated to the project, you guys will all each be getting a copy of this build to play with. I'm now entering just the bug phase fixing, meaning the apps that are installed here are pretty much the apps that I'll be using. I won't be changing or swapping apps much. Look, even the software center, how fast that is. Okay, obviously my net is a little slow in South Africa, so the pics take like a few seconds to load. But even the software center loads almost instantly. I mean, it virtually is instantly. So yeah, I mean, you can see the speed of this. I mean, I just click inside VirtualBox, everything's there. It's just the previews and so forth that obviously is net dependent, so they'll take a second to sort of load and you know, yeah. Anyway, so as promised, the testers obviously will get a copy of the build because they need to test and give feedback. I'll also be opening up a couple of spots for testing, and of course the donators, as promised, you guys will get a copy. You guys helped me out a great deal with donations last month. I was hoping for a bit more, but it's fine. I'm not going to complain. Today is actually my birthday, so this video I'm putting out on my birthday. I probably won't do much work for the rest of the day on this build, and I know I'm going out on Saturday to celebrate, so probably won't be doing much work on Saturday, but Thursday, Friday and Sunday I will be working on this build and hopefully be putting out a copy on Sunday. Don't hold me to that. If I don't get it out on Sunday, it'll probably get out very early next week, but at this stage it looks like I'm going to be getting this build out on Sunday. So yeah, this is Makulu Xfce 7.0, running snappy as always, looking great, brilliant, faster than 6.1, much more beautiful than 6.1, at ISO of only 1.3 odd gigabytes, with all of the software installed, all the normal standard stuff that I put on, you know, minus a couple of other packages, but for the most part it's pretty much Wine and Steam, and you've got your multimedia players, and you've got your internet apps and your graphic apps, and you've got a couple of games, and of course you've got Kingsoft Office complete suite with the PDF reader. So you've got pretty much everything in here. You know, you've got a text editor, archive manager, you've got a screenshot app, you know, a variety wallpaper changer. So yeah, it's virtually complete. I've added a couple of custom actions as well, so you can sort of get a whole bunch of actions right at your fingertips that you don't still have to configure. So just little changes that I've made all over the show just to give it make it much more complete, you know, just in general. And of course some of the pop-ups as well, also transparent. I showed that in the last video, but for those that haven't seen it before, so there's a lot of transparency in this build, a lot of especially when compass is turned on, then all the magic happens. But yeah, so the guys that are obviously that have donated over the last month or so, actually I'll probably even do the guys that donated before, although it's been a while since anybody donated, I mean before the guys over the last month. So yeah, you guys will each get a copy as a thank you, and you can mess around with it, play around with it, and if you feel like it you can give feedback on it as well. So yeah, this is Jacques from Makulu Xfce signing out. I just wanted to update everybody on the progress. I'm currently at Alpha 1, so the first Alpha version is now basically complete. It should be out hopefully by sometime December. I'm hoping somewhere in December, but things are going great. Yeah, that's it. So I shall speak to you guys soon. Cheers.